It always starts the same way. She liked you more when you were uncertain, when you were holding back, when you were mysterious in all the right ways, when she had to wonder what you felt, or if you felt anything at all. And then one day you let the truth slip. You opened your heart, you leaned in, you matched her energy. You gave her the emotional security she claimed she wanted, and that's when everything changed. A woman who once texted you good morning without fail now replies hours later. A woman who laughed at every joke now gives half-hearted emojis. A woman who was excited to see you now seems perfectly fine not seeing you at all. You didn't do anything wrong. You just crossed a line you didn't even know existed. You loved her back. And for the kind of woman who lives on emotional highs instead of emotional depth, that was the moment the illusion ended. A woman's attraction is not built in comfort. It's built in curiosity. When she doesn't fully know where she stands with you, her mind fills the gaps. She imagines you. She fantasizes. She assigns depth where there might not be any. She creates a story that feels bigger than reality. Uncertainty is intoxicating for her. It creates the exact chemical cocktail that drives obsession. Dopamine, anticipation, reward-seeking. But the moment you said, "I like you too," the moment you became clear, available, and certain, the fantasy she built around you collapsed. Not because she didn't want you, but because she didn't know how to handle the version of you who was real. She wanted the feeling of wanting you, not the responsibility of keeping you. When you became emotionally safe, you also became emotionally ordinary. And ordinary does not create obsession. The moment you reciprocated, the roles flipped. Before, she was the one overthinking. She was the one checking her phone. She was the one wondering why you were different. She was the one trying to impress you. But once you showed interest, you did what most men do. You softened. You opened up. You became more available. You tried harder. You reassured her. You explained yourself. You held back less and gave more. You shifted from being the man she was drawn toward to the man trying to maintain her interest. And no matter how good your intentions were, that shift changed the entire energy. You stopped being the prize. You became the pursuer. You stopped being the question she wanted to answer. You became the answer she no longer had questions for. And whether she admits it or not, her attraction was built on the version of you she had to earn, not the version of you who put himself on the table too quickly. There's a deeper truth here, one most men never hear. Some women don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with how you make them feel. They don't fall in love with who you are. They fall in love with the version of themselves they get to become around you. When she wasn't sure she had you, she felt alive, desired, interesting, irreplaceable, important. But once she felt secure, once she realized you loved her as deeply as she wanted, she didn't know how to handle it. Because now, she couldn't just enjoy the fantasy. She couldn't just coast on the thrill. She couldn't just play the game of almost. Now she had to show up, give back, match energy, match effort, match vulnerability, and that terrified her. Not because she's a bad person, but because she was never ready to be as emotionally invested as you were. Your love didn't scare her. Her own inability to reciprocate did. So she did the only thing she could do. She backed away. Here's the harshest truth of this entire story. She didn't lose interest when you loved her back. She lost interest because loving you back required maturity she didn't have. It's easy for her to like you when it's fun, light, and uncertain. It's easy for her to be affectionate when she's competing for your attention. It's easy for her to chase the idea of you. But stable affection, consistent love, emotional depth, reciprocity, that requires a woman who's ready for a relationship, not one who's addicted to the high of early attention. She didn't pull away because your love was too much. She pulled away because her intentions were too little. In the beginning, your energy had polarity. You had your own life, your own focus, your own center. That grounded masculine energy attracted her. It made her feel safe, curious, and drawn to you without knowing why. But once you caught feelings, you likely shifted without realizing it. Your life started revolving around her. Your decisions began considering her. Your schedule bent around her availability. Your emotions started reacting to her approval, and the polarity that created attraction disappeared. Masculine energy became emotional softness. Focus became fixation. Confidence became caution. Presence became pursuit. You didn't love her wrong. You loved her in a way she wasn't prepared to value. The moment you made her your emotional center, she felt the weight of a role she never asked to carry. Here's what she'd never say out loud. She liked you more when you were slightly out of reach, not because she wanted games, but because she didn't trust herself with someone who truly cared. When a man with a good heart loves a woman who's not ready, she doesn't rise to meet him. She runs, not because he's too much, but because she's too little. She didn't pull away because your love scared her. She pulled away because she knew deep down that she could never love you with the same depth and consistency. And instead of admitting that, she lets the connection fade. A slow fade that feels like death by 1,000 cuts. You weren't rejected. You were outgrown by someone who never grew to begin with. So what now? Nothing. You don't chase her, you don't fix it, you don't rewrite your worth based on her emotional limitations, because the moment you understand this truth, everything shifts. A woman who is right for you doesn't lose interest when you love her. She loves you more. She doesn't run from certainty. She runs toward it. She doesn't get bored when you open your heart. She opens hers deeper. The wrong woman will always fade when you show your feelings. The right woman will always rise to match them. The moment she lost interest wasn't your failure. It was the moment she revealed she was never meant to stay. And now you know better. You don't shrink to keep attention. You don't soften to stay interesting. You don't hide your heart to maintain the chase. You simply give your love to a woman who knows what to do with it. Hit subscribe, because the next chapter of your life begins with the truth you just heard.